Alright guys, welcome back to Hero-Villain Mashup, where I take a hero or heroes and a villain or villains and mash them up and pretty much say, like, what would it be like if these characters had to fight each other as a hero-villain rivalry? This time around, it's the Crystal Gems and Brainiac. Now, someone had said Sinestro, and admittedly Sinestro would be a really good villain for the Crystal Gems, but I thought about it a bit more, and someone who could not only be a threat to the Crystal Gems, but to a threat to the entire gem race. That person would be Brainiac. Brainiac would be a major threat to not just the Crystal Gems, but the gem homeworld entirely, like I said. Reason being, not only does, his whole thing of, he shrinks down planets for his bottled cities, he basically, what he does is, he also gathers information and pretty much assimilates into his own. Imagine if he got a hold of gem technology. So if the gems had to fight Brainiac, they would be in a world of hurt. Brainiac is all mind and also has a lot of brawn. This is a guy who can go toe to toe with Superman on a daily basis. Sorry, I had to get some water. But yeah, this is a guy who is all power. He is a master manipulator. He is incredibly intelligent. Someone you just don't want to have as your enemy. So imagine what would it be like if Brainiac found his way to either Earth. He found his way to Beach City to assimilate the technology, or worse, he found himself at the Gem Homeworld. I would even have it that maybe Brainiac tried to conquer the Gem Homeworld a long time ago, but Rose and a few other gems defeated him in battle, and he went on his merry way. But now he's upgraded himself and is now ready to assimilate the entire Gem Homeworld, or at least go all Candor on it. So anyway, among other things with this is that the gems would have to think overtime on how to beat him. This is, we've kind of seen that the gems are down to there's 4 of them, really. I mean, if they had Lapis and, if they somehow managed to get Peridot and Jasper on their side, it would be a good 7 gems, a good number of gems, but for, all intents and purposes, it's just Steven and Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl going up against a guy who can literally take on an army of the greatest superheroes of the DC Universe. So, Brainiac would just be like, your threat levels are incredibly inferior. You are inferior to me. That's how he would literally look at them. He would just look at them as like how a man looks at an ant. And he would introduce the boot really quickly to those ants. Now, I would imagine that he would be very interested in Steven because he's obviously a fusion of both organic and inorganic material. Obviously, the gem stuff is the inorganic stuff. So he would be I think he would he would try to get a hold of Steven to dissect him and try to learn the secrets of a organic and gem material. Not only that, I could definitely see him doing some horrible experiment, like him going around to gem-controlled worlds, abducting gems, and either controlling them to be under his own will, or even worse, breaking them apart and dissecting them for all their weaknesses. Now, the big question is, the gems obviously have magic, and Brainiac is all science. Could the magic actually prove to be a counteractive to Brainiac? I would have to say that Brainiac would scoff the idea of these creatures being magic, because, in all honesty, I think he would just look at it as an advanced science. He finds magic illogical. It would be nothing for him to, it would be not he would just scoff at like I said, he would scoff at the idea of magical beings that can use both science and magic. He would just think it's an advanced form of science that he could control and he could manipulate. Now, could you imagine that if he manages to find a way to just deconstruct gem magic and just claim it's advanced science? and then used said quote-unquote advanced science to his own sick will, we'd all be screwed. We would all be screwed. Now, but I think the main thing is that, like I said before, Brainiac would not take the crystal gems as a major threat. He would just look at the four of them and just go, whatever. Now, I think that may be in the gems. That would be in the gems' favor but you have to understand, Brainiac is just, it may be one person, but he can literally upload his mind into anything mechanical or, anything digital. So he could literally hide inside like a toaster, spring out and go, gotcha, bitch. Probably not like that, but I'm probably going to see now a Brainiac toaster shouting at Steven, gotcha, bitch! I've now planted that fan art idea in someone's mind. God help me. Anyway. So, with that being said, you also have to take into account that it would have to be that the Crystal Gems and the Homeworld Gems would have to team up, because the Homeworld Gems would be equally terrified of Brainiac getting his hands on their technology. So I think like an alliance would be formed, like, okay, we can't deal with him by ourselves. We're going to need these Crystal Gems for help. And when I say Homeworld Gems, I think like I would imagine like they would find the gems would find Peridot and then free Lapis and Jasper. Lapis would be very quick to want to help Steven. She'd be very quick to wanting to help Steven in this case. Jasper and Peridot would take a little more convincing to combat Brainiac. But when they realize, oh yeah, this is a guy who could kill us all with a thought. Yeah, we should take him out real quick. But yeah, like I said, even if they could break into Brainiac's home ship, his mothership, fight their way through all of his drones, manage to get to Brainiac. Brainiac he ain't no pussy. He is incredibly strong. He could go blow for blow with Superman in some cases in his organic form. So keep that in mind that he's actually pretty strong in his organic form, as you see right here. So you got to keep that in mind, that even if the gems fight their way through their ship and find him, it ain't no walk in the park. It is in no way a walk in the park. In fact, I could even just imagine to screw with them and turn over any technology he would have on the crystal gems. He would literally shrink down Beach City. He would bottle Beach City and just be like, you want your city back? Give me all of your information. Give me all your tech. Give me everything you have on yourselves, and maybe I'll consider not dropping this. Yeah. So they're dealing with a guy with 12th level intelligence. I'd love to see like a match of minds between Brainiac and Peridot. Those two would definitely be like matching, like trying to outsmart one another. If, of course, they could get if you had the gems teaming up with Jasper, Peridot, and Lapis in this situation. So they would just, I could just see Lapis and Peridot and Brainiac having this little match of the minds, where trying to outthink and outsmart one another, and try to figure out the other one's moves and motives, and eventually kind of like come the Peridot being like the gems, planner, their strategist, and trying to strategically beat Brainiac in his own game. So there, that's one way of looking at it. That would actually be really cool. So, in all cases, this, the gems, if Brainiac was one of their villains, they would have a hard-as-hell time. And I know, once again, like I said, someone did say that Sinestro would be cool to see as a villain for them, and admittedly, yes, but I think on the gems, I think, Sinestro has a bit more honor to him. He has a little more honor to him these days in the Jeff Johns run. So I think he would be a little more lenient towards the gems. Brainiac, on the other hand, oh my god, Brainiac would show no pity. He would kill Connie right in front of Steven, and just to prove a point of emotions, are nothing. Emotions only cripple us. He would legit do that. He would just grab Connie, break her neck, right in front of Steven and all of the gems, just to prove the point that, your emotions are your greatest weakness. So, yeah, Brainiac. I think he would make a great villain for the Crystal Gems. But I want to hear from you. What do you guys think it would be like if the Crystal Gems had to fight Brainiac and he was one of their villains? Do you think they could come out on top? How do you think they could beat them? And how do you think? And do you think Brainiac could be a villain to the entire Gem race? That's the other big question. But anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.